Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Sam. Hope all of you are doing super great today. The iPhone 11 is not just around the corner, but it is expected to be coming out in September of 2019 alongside a second generation iPhone XR that may come in green. We've got some new rumors about battery sizes, and they're extremely good. For the first time in a while, the iPhones may be getting a significant battery upgrade in 2019, and in 2020, according to a second report, the screen sizes are going to be totally getting switched up and flopped around. So I want to talk about that as well. If you're looking forward to this video, as always, drop a like down below. It seriously helps me out, and hit subscribe so you're always up to date on what Apple's doing. Let's go ahead and jump in. So today we're checking out a fresh report courtesy of Apple analyst with a very good track record, Min Chico. And his latest report is pretty exciting because iPhone battery life, guys. We know that sometimes it can be really great if you have something like the iPhone XR. I've actually switched back to this recently just because of how insane the battery life is. But on other iPhones, especially older iPhone models, and even now my iPhone XS I feel like is struggling to get through a day, the battery life on some iPhones can be really bad. Nobody wants to blow 1,000 buckaroos on a device that's not even going to last like a day to a day and a half. It's a pretty ridiculous concept, but it's sort of where we're at in some places. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that's not going to be the case for much longer though, because we got a fresh report today courtesy of Min Chico and obtained by 9to5Mac that battery sizes are getting bigger to accommodate bilateral wireless charging. Now, this is an idea that I've talked about in a couple of previous videos. It's where you'll be able to use your iPhone, let's say XR version 2. We don't know if it'll be on that one, but for sure on the iPhone 11, you would be able to set something like your Apple Watch or AirPods 2 with the wireless charging case. I guess this is Apple's version of AirPower now, on top of your iPhone, and it will be able to wirelessly charge it. And the reason that Apple is making batteries bigger is because of that. Apple knows that that will actually take extra juice, so rather than just keeping battery sizes the same and likely marketing that as a flagship feature, the bilateral wireless charging, Apple's going to make it a lot better. So let me just tell you guys how much better they're going to get. According to Min Chico, fingers crossed this all comes true, iPhone 11 could be getting a 20 to 25% larger battery. The iPhone 11 Max in 2019, 10 to 15% larger, and the iPhone XR Mark II, a phone that we haven't heard a ton about but could come in green, is going to be maybe having a dual camera setup on the back now. This one is going to get barely any improvement at all, with Min Chico saying zero improvement at 0%, or up to a 5% larger battery. But either way, the XR right here already has an insane battery. It easily gets me through a day, so I honestly wouldn't have a problem with Apple leaving that battery the same size, but of course we want 5% bigger. This is really important to me because I think a lot of people like their iPhone, but they just have to stop using it sometimes because the battery dies, and I think that's really frustrating. There have been times where I've needed to snap that picture or that video, or I needed to check something on email, and my phone was just dead, and you see that awful like red battery screen, and it's like, oh, if there could have just been 10 to 15 or 20 to 25 or 0 to 5% more battery in this phone, I could have gotten that task done that I needed to do. So fingers crossed all this comes true. I think this is extremely good to hear, and because of bilateral wireless charging that Apple is bringing, that's something that Android phones have had for a while now, and I'm looking forward to Apple sort of playing catch up in that regard. But battery-wise, this is incredible news, and I want to hear your thoughts on this down below. Do you think battery life on the iPhone right now is a problem? Does the iPhone even need bigger batteries, or are you just hyped? By and large, though, that's a pretty standard upgrade. Like, anybody could hypothesize, oh yeah, like year over year, the iPhone battery life will probably get better. Just in 2019, it seems to be a pretty significant change, something that I'm sure Apple will heavily market when the phones launch. But moving into 2020, we've already heard about a laser camera system on the iPhone in 2020. According to Bloomberg, it's going to be pretty wild and allow you to get some insane photos. Bloomberg is saying that they're going to be laser powered in 3D for improved AR experiences, and AR is an entirely different story. It's something that I'm not particularly into right now, but Apple just keeps telling us like you should be into R, and I'm like, guys, I just don't want it. I just want a better triple camera on my iPhone. I'm still guessing that this could be what the 2020 iPhone looks like, because we got this from OnLeaks earlier this year, and then it turns out it seems like Apple's settling on this iPhone prototype. So maybe we've already gotten a look at this crazy laser camera just because it does look so different. And it is important to note it's arranged horizontally versus vertically. Maybe that has to play in there somehow. I don't know. A lot of this is speculation imagination, but it's fun to think maybe we've already seen the 2020 iPhone. That'd be wild. Of course, the triple camera is expected on the iPhone 11 and the 11 Max in 2019, but I do want to talk about now 2020 iPhones. Maybe you just bought an iPhone in 2018, you're holding onto one from 2017 or 2016, and you're not totally enthralled by the 2019 iPhones. We do have some interesting new details courtesy of DigiTimes for the screen sizes on the 2020 iPhones. And this one's a little bit weird. So for comparison, just right now on the iPhones, we've got a 5.8-inch OLED model, a 6.1-inch LCD model, and a second 6.5-inch OLED screen. Well, not only are all the screens said to be going OLED, that's not only reported now by DigiTimes, but I believe the Wall Street Journal a long time ago, maybe even Bloomberg a while back, has predicted that. And it turns out that that's probably going to be the case, and it makes sense. Apple and OLED technology will hopefully be able to work together in a way that's more cost-effective in the future. Here's the deets, guys. The screen sizes are going to get totally flipped around, with the smallest iPhone in 2020 said to be coming in at 5.42 inches, the second mid-range model at 6.06 inches, which could also be like 6.1 inches like the iPhone XR, and then the third model that Apple's working on is going to be 6.67 inches. None of those screen sizes technically exist, although maybe 6.06 is just going to be rounded up to 6.1 inches, like exactly what we have on the iPhone XR right now. But hold on, where's the 5.8-inch iPhone that we've had? So at first I read through this, it didn't look like it made any sense. I couldn't see why Apple would just eliminate the 5.8-inch OLED iPhone that seems to have been selling really well for them overall in the past couple of years. And then I looked at the broader picture. You know, when people are looking at an iPhone, what do they want? Some people want a really big phone. Some people want a relatively small phone. And then there's other people, like I would say myself, that want something in the middle. Personally, the iPhone XS Max is too big for me, but also something like the iPhone 7, I would say, or even the iPhone 8 with a 4.7-inch screen is a little bit too small for me. So in the middle, Apple in 2020 is going to be releasing that 6.06-inch phone. It could be rounded up to 6.1 inches. It'll be around the same screen size as what we get right now on the iPhone XR. For people that want that really, really big phone, the 6.5-inch iPhone is increasing in size to 6.67 inches. So again, it'll probably be called the 6.7-inch model if Apple rounds up. That one will be gigantic, bigger than what we have now. But then there's a third group of people that don't want either of those sizes. They feel like it's too big. They're the same people that have said the iPhone 10 with the 5.8-inch display is too large. I think that's why Apple is lowering that screen size and making the iPhone just a little bit smaller to 5.42 inches. Now, specific to just the 5.42-inch model, I don't know if this means anything just yet, but according to DigiTimes, they are working to incorporate some screen technology that is not only cheaper, but also thinner. Now, whether that would lead to a thinner device, I know there's always that debate, like, do you want a thinner phone? Do you want better battery life? Is there any, like, in-between area? Because Apple stereotypically always veers the direction of the thinnest possible device, and battery in the past has sacrificed directly, I think, because of that. So in 2019, battery life is getting better. Maybe into 2020, Apple will find a way to give us the best of both worlds. And in general, this also signals that Apple is going to be returning to a more sensible pricing strategy and device separation strategy for me. I've always personally found it weird that you can get a 6.1-inch phone for $749, that's the iPhone XR, but you get a smaller screen size, 5.8 inches, for $999. To me, that doesn't make sense. I don't think a lot of people understand why they can get a bigger screen for less money, because I feel like a lot of people that are buying the iPhone, like, you know, the average like mom that walks into an Apple store doesn't really care about OLED versus LCD. So I think Apple's noticing that consumers are probably confused at this point. And while it's too late to cancel what's happening in 2019, we're still a year and a half out from the new iPhones in 2020, so Apple has a ton of time to still work on those. So they're going to return to that small screen size equals lowest price strategy, highest or biggest screen size equals highest price. And that's the way a lot of companies do it. I think economically, you can just look at it and say, oh yeah, I want the small screen size because that's the cheapest phone. That being said, I'm personally going to be really frustrated if the 5.8-inch OLED iPhone goes away. I'm adjusting to the 6.1-inch iPhone, the LCD iPhone are, but part of me just still really misses that perfect for me 5.8-inch screen. I know I won't want to go down to 5.42 inches, so I'll probably find myself bumping up to 6.06 inches. Even as somebody who reviews this stuff, I've been confused by the screen size and pricing strategy in recent history, so this is what Apple is currently planning. I wanted to give you guys the latest as always, and I want to hear your thoughts on all this down below. If you had to choose right now which iPhone you were going to be buying in 2020, let's say Apple just came out with these, would you want the 5.42, 6.06, or 6.67 inch model? Those are going to be very separated by screen size now. Anyway, guys, that is all I have for you in this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you're more prepared to make an iPhone purchase in the future. If any of that is true, drop a like down below. It seriously helps me out, and hit subscribe so you stay up to date on the latest Apple news. I've been Sam. Hope you're doing well, and I'll catch you in my next video.